Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we tear through a stack of sources to extract the essential distilled knowledge you need to be perfectly informed.
Glad to be here.
Today, we are opening the files on a genuine master of adaptation, the Canadian-American actress and singer Joanna Gleason.
Ah, Joanna Gleason. And if you're looking for a blueprint on, well, career longevity and creative versatility, this is definitely the deep dive for you.
Right.
We're tracing a really remarkable path that has kept her active and relevant since, 1972? It's incredible.
It really is.
Our sources paint this picture of an artist who is kind of simultaneously a Tony-winning Broadway icon.
The pinnacle.
Exactly. And also this definitive, subtle presence in serious, prestigious American film and television. And often she was the one calling action behind the camera, too.
Which is fascinating. So our mission today is to try and understand the mechanics of her success. I mean, how do you go from the theatrical rigor of Stephen Sondheim?
Yeah, demanding stuff.
To the, let's say, cinematic chaos of Paul Thomas Anderson, and then just turn around, direct a multi-camera sitcom. It's a real study in skill translation, isn't it?
It really is. It's quite something.
But to start, I
Yeah.
think we have to recognize the achievement that really anchors her entire legacy in the public consciousness. Kind of start there.
Oh, absolutely. That absolutely means starting with the stage, and specifically the original production of Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine's masterpiece, Into the Woods. Gleason originated the defining role of the baker's wife. That performance is just, it's etched into musical theater history.
It really is. It's the role that shifted her status, you could argue, from, working Broadway performer to, well, immortal legend, practically.
Yeah, that's fair.
In 1988, that performance earned her the Tony Award for Best Leading Actress in a Musical. And our sources pulled this fantastic piece of lore, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
The award was presented to her by her co-star, the show's original witch, Bernadette Peters.
No way. That's brilliant.
It's like a passing of the torch within the same production. That's got to be incredibly rare, right?
Oh, incredibly rare. And that moment, it just speaks volumes about the respect she commanded, within the cast and the industry as a whole.
Absolutely.
But what really defines her theatrical weight isn't just that singular win, as huge as it was. It's the pattern of recognition.
Right. The consistency.
Exactly. She didn't just win for a leading musical role. She also garnered Tony nominations for a featured role in a dramatic revival, A Day in the Death of Joe Egg, back in '85. And then a featured musical role 2 decades later in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels in 2005.
See, that's the thing. To be nominated across categories like that, leading musical, featured play, featured musical, and across a 20-year span, it just shows her success wasn't tied to a specific type or, a particular moment in time.
Not at all. She was just consistently excellent.
And you can add to that multiple drama desk wins.
Yeah.
And you start to see this level of consistent, high-caliber work that honestly few performers ever match.
It truly is the ultimate test of staying power, especially in a, let's face it, brutal industry like Broadway.
Definitely.
But you hit on maybe the most fascinating element of her career earlier, that duality.
Yeah.
She is Broadway royalty, undisputed. Yet simultaneously, she was building this incredibly distinct filmography, working with the kind of, high-minded cinematic auteurs who almost never collaborate with stage actors, or rarely, anyway.
Exactly. We're talking about Woody Allen. She's in Hannah and her sisters, and then came back for Crimes and Misdemeanors.
Right. 2 of the most celebrated, intellectual films of their era.
Yeah.
Heavy hitters.
Absolutely. And then talk about a tonal shift.
Oh, yeah.
Working with Paul Thomas Anderson on the 1997 cult classic Boogie Nights.
Yeah. To successfully navigate the distance between the sort of cerebral anxiety of a Woody Allen film and the raw, sprawling emotional landscape of a P.T. Anderson epic, that takes a very unique calibration of acting skill. It really does.
It's incredible range. And underlying all of this professional achievement is this incredibly intriguing personal context that the sources confirm had a huge impact on her early drive.
The family background.
She is the daughter of one of the most recognizable faces in game show history, Monty Hall of Let's Make a Deal.
Right. That's a fascinating shadow to grow up under, isn't it? Trying to forge your own path.
Definitely.
And she's also maintained this long-term creative and personal partnership with her current husband, the actor Chris Sarandon.
Right. Another connection we need to explore.
Her life and career are really woven together through collaboration, which is a theme we'll definitely see popping up again and again.
Okay, so let's unpack those roots first, because they really established the contrast that she maybe had to define herself against.
Good place to start.
Joanna Gleason was born Joanne Hall on June 6, 1950, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. That Canadian origin is key to her identity, seems like.
Absolutely. And the family lineage is immediately kind of complicated, isn't it? Her father, Monty Hall, who, would become synonymous with the chaotic, instantaneous fun of let's make a deal, was actually born Halperin.
Right, he changed the name.
He changed his surname to Hall. And at the time of Joanna's birth, Monty Hall was actually building his career in Toronto radio stations.
Ah, okay. So not TV yet.
Not the big TV star yet. He was already deeply embedded in the mechanics of entertainment, just not the massive figure we remember from TV later on.
And it wasn't just him either, was it? This wasn't a family accidentally stumbling into show business.
No, not at all. The sources confirm that her siblings also carved out successful careers. Her brother, Richard Hall, is an Emmy award-winning television writer and director.
Wow.
And her sister, Sharon Hall Kessler, is also a television writer and director.
So it really was the family business.
It was the family business, but importantly, it seems like it was the TV business. The high-volume, quick turnaround world of sitcoms, game shows, television movies. This suggests that when Joanna pursued acting, the stage and the sort of serious study of dramatic craft might have been a very conscious choice. A way to establish an artistic path distinct from the immediate populist fame of her father.
That's a really crucial insight, I think. She didn't just rely on her name. The sources detail a very grounded, very formal path into the profession.
Right.
She graduated from Beverly Hills High School, we'll call it BHHS, as it often appears in the sources, in 1968. That's a highly specific environment for someone intent on a serious acting career, isn't it?
Definitely. And we know she dove deep into the arts there. She was appearing in major school productions. We're talking classics like The Music Man, Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado.
Wow, ambitious stuff for high school.
Yeah. Truman Capote's The Grassharp, and Jean Giraudoux' The Madwoman of Chaillot. She was clearly testing her range, even as a teenager.
What's fascinating here, though, is the specific detail about her acting instruction that grounds her technique in pure drama. She received coaching from John Ingle. Now, for many, Ingle is known as a soap opera star. But our sources point out he taught at BHHS for 30 years, from 1955 to 1985.
30 years. That's commitment.
It means she received instruction from a seasoned, professional actor who specialized in developing young talent over 3 decades. That's significant training.
That's foundational, isn't it? It really speaks to the seriousness of her intent. She prioritized that rigorous dramatic training. This wasn't just, hobby acting.
Right.
She sought out institutional excellence. And she went on to attend UCLA before graduating from Occidental College. She layered that formal education right on top of her practical training.
And like any great artist who really values the craft, she has continued that cycle of learning and sharing. She became a teacher herself, holding classes and workshops all across the country.
Paying it forward.
Exactly. It's the constant act of honing and sharing the mechanism of performance.
Which brings us, with that really grounded foundation now established, directly to the theatrical stage. This is where she truly became the figure we celebrate today. Okay.
We need to trace her path through the 1970s and 80s as she built that momentum toward the defining Tony win.
Right. Her professional debut came relatively early, didn't it? In the long-running musical Promises in 1972.
That's right. But her Broadway launch 5 years later was a key stepping stone. She originated the role of Monica in the musical I Love My Wife in 1977.
I love my wife.
And that production earned her the prestigious Theatre World Award.
Okay, can you explain that one for listeners?
Sure. The Theatre World Award is specifically given to recognize an outstanding debut or breakout performance in a major New York production. So it signaled immediate recognition of her potential right out of the gate on Broadway.
Got it. But before that New York moment, she was putting in the regional work, which you hear is so crucial for building stage stamina and craft.
Absolutely essential. The sources confirm that early regional experience, playing Seidel in Fiddler on the Roof in 1972.
Classic role. And an understudy role as Ophelia in Hamlet at the Mark Taper Forum in 1974. So these roles, spanning classic musical comedy to high tragedy, they show that breadth of training in action right away.
And she proved her confidence pretty early, too, by tackling established roles mid-run. In 1984, she took over for Christine Baranski as Charlotte in the Broadway run of Tom Stoppard's intellectual drama, The Real Thing.
Wow, replacing Baranski in a Stoppard play? That takes gut.
Totally. Taking over a role like that requires a high degree of, well, linguistic agility and just confidence in an established, probably tight-knit cast.
No kidding. And all of this momentum just propelled her into the mid-'80s, where she became this, well, undeniably potent force on the New York stage.
Right. Before Into the Woods, she received her first Tony nomination, that was in 1985, for Best Featured Actress in a Play, for her performance as Pam in the revival of Peter Nichols' A Day in the Death of Joe Egg.
So that's recognition for serious non-musical acting right there.
Exactly.
But the true crescendo, maybe, came in 1986 with her unprecedented back-to-back drama desk wins in the Featured Actress in a Play category. This is where, the sources really highlight something extraordinary.
Back-to-back wins.
Yeah. For two completely different off-Broadway roles. Virginia, in Terrence McNally's sharply witty It's Only a Play in Trudy in Andrew Bergman's comedy Social Security.
Winning 2 major New York awards. The Drama Desk is one of the big 3, right, Tony? Outer Critics Circle.
Right, it's a major award.
Winning 2 in the same year for 2 different shows, especially off-Broadway, where maybe the spotlight isn't quite as intense. That's a huge statement. It's like saying, this actress is defining the moment in New York theater.
Absolutely. She was basically dominating the scene right when Sondheim and Lapine were looking for the perfect cast for their ambitious, complex new musical.
Perfect timing.
And that leads us inevitably to the defining role.
The Baker's Wife. It's truly one of the most beloved and complex characters in the modern musical theater canon, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. And she originated the role, developing it regionally, first at the Old Globe Theater in San Diego in 1986, before bringing it to Broadway at the Martin Beck Theater in 1987.
What makes The Baker's Wife such a demanding role, do you think?
Well, she represents the core human dilemma of the show, really. She starts as this, wish fulfillment character, desperate for a child. But then she undertakes the central moral journey, especially in the second act when she succumbs to temptation with the prince.
Right, that affair.
That journey culminates in one of the most beautiful and frankly heartbreaking songs in the entire show, Moments in the Woods, where she's rationalizing her infidelity.
It requires such vulnerability, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And quick wit and deep emotional honesty all at once. It's the moment of maximum complexity, and Gleason she handled it with genius.
The sources really confirm the critical consensus on that, even though the New York Times review was apparently somewhat critical of the production as a whole.
Which happens with Sondheim sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Challenging work.
Exactly. It offered a special and high distinction specifically to Gleason, describing her performance as simply wonderful.
Wow.
To stand out that powerfully, even when the overall reception of this highly complex, kind of unusual production was mixed, that solidified her victory. You have to think.
And thank goodness her performance was preserved for eternity. Yeah. We have the essential original cast recording, which is probably what most people know.
A classic recording.
But we also have the filmed version that was broadcast on the PBS anthology series, Great Performances.
Yeah.
You can literally sit there today and analyze exactly what earned her that Tony.
That film documentation is such a rare gift in theater history, especially capturing an original performance like that. And her connection to the material remained strong over the years. She reprised the role for the 10th anniversary concert in 1997.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And even more telling is her later contribution to regional productions in 2010 and again in 2022, where she provided the pre-recorded voiceover role of the Giant's wife.
No way. So she went from the star on stage to the disembodied voice of doom hanging over everyone.
Pretty much. It's the ultimate legacy moving from the heart of the show to the voice of its inescapable fate.
That's fantastic.
Now, as you mentioned earlier, the Broadway journey, even for the most celebrated performers, it's never just a straight line of triumphs, is it?
Never.
We have to address the professional lightning strike that hit her in 1991, the musical Nick and Nora.
Oh, boy. Yeah, this was a famously troubled show. It was highly anticipated, a musical adaptation of the Thin Man film series. She was cast as the sophisticated detective, Nora Charles. Perfect casting on paper, right?
Seemed like it.
Yeah.
But the sources pull no punches here. They note the production encountered numerous troubles in previews.
Never a good sign.
And closed after only 9 performances. 9. That's just a brutal reality check on Broadway.
Absolutely brutal. A major Broadway flop, especially one that collapses that quickly, it can really damage momentum and confidence.
Oh, for sure. But here is the profound twist of irony and why this failure is actually so important to her life story.
Okay.
She met her future husband, Chris Sarandon, while performing in that doomed show.
Get Out. That's spectacular. I mean, imagine the post-mortem discussions after the curtain closed for the last time on performance number 9. A professional disaster.
Total disaster.
Yet it launched the relationship of her life. It's like a perfect narrative arc, a true theatrical irony. It's amazing.
It really is something. And she certainly didn't let that failure define her career trajectory. Her third Tony nomination came over a decade later in 2005.
Right, for Dirty Rotten Scoundrel.
Exactly. She was recognized for Best Featured Actress in a Musical for her role as Muriel Eubanks, and she also got Drama Desk and Outer Critics Circle nominations for it, too.
That 20-year span, think about that, between her first nomination in 1985 and her third in 2005, it's phenomenal. It shows not just longevity, but a successful pivot, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. She moved from the demanding, dramatic, and sort of ingenue roles of the 80s to commanding, highly nuanced comedic character roles in the 21st century. Muriel Eubanks is a very different theatrical animal than The Baker's Wife.
Totally different.
And her later stage work shows that continued comedic muscle. In 2006, the New York Times singled her out as hilarious for her performance as Tiziana in The Cartels, which was apparently a staged soap opera.
Hilarious, okay.
And in 2007, she received a significant institutional recognition with a special award for achievement in theater from the New England Theater Conference. So she really cemented her status not just as a performer, but as a recognized pillar of the American theater establishment.
Okay, so we've established her as Broadway royalty. Now, we shift gears dramatically. How did the actress who mastered the specific high-stakes world of Sondheim manage to build such a successful career under the, well, very different gaze of a camera?
Yeah, let's move from the footlights to the camera lens. The sources show that she started by attempting the traditional network path, which, offers high-volume work, but often, let's say, lower artistic reward.
Right, the sitcom route.
Exactly. In 1979, she was cast as Morgan in the sitcom Hello, Larry, starring McLean Stevenson.
Hello, Larry.
Infamous. Yeah, it ran for 37 episodes, but the sources characterize it pretty bluntly as poorly received.
Poorly received is often TV speak for notorious flop, isn't it?
Pretty much. But while it might not have been a critical darling, 37 episodes over 2 seasons? That's invaluable technical training. It teaches you about hitting marks, reacting to live audiences potentially, working at breakneck speed skills. A stage actor simply doesn't get otherwise. It's a different muscle.
Totally different. It's the groundwork. And she had those fun, slightly obscure early TV spots, too. We had that fun trivia point from the sources.
Oh, yeah.
She played Beaver's ex-wife, Kimberly, in the 1983 television movie Still the Beaver.
No way! That's amazing. Talk about obscure.
Right. But her film career quickly transcended that standard TV fare and immediately signaled her pursuit of prestige. Her film debut year, 1986, was huge. She appeared in 2 massively significant films.
Okay, what were they?
She played Carol in Woody Allen's Hannah and Her Sisters and Diana in Mike Nichols's Heartburn.
Wow. Allen and Nichols in her debut year. That's not messing around. That is the definition of entering the film world through the front door of high-end, auteur-driven cinema.
Absolutely. And the Woody Allen collaboration continued. In 1989, she played Wendy Stern, the wife of Allen's character, in Crimes and Misdemeanors.
Right. Her performance in those films is crucial because it's a masterclass in a very specific acting style. That highly intellectual, dialogue-driven, neurotic New York comedy drama thing he does.
Yeah.
She often plays the grounded, maybe moral conscience, the voice of anxiety, trying to make sense of the chaos created by the male protagonist, usually Allen himself.
And this is where we really have to pause and appreciate the sheer breadth of her acting ability. Contrast the subtle, cerebral control required for a Woody Allen role, well, with her later appearance in Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights in 1997.
That transition is just astonishing, isn't it? In Boogie Nights, she played the sources call it the memorable role of Dirk Diggler's mother.
Oh, that scene.
Right. A raw, explosive character who confronts her son, played by Mark Wahlberg. It's a scene of pure domestic melodrama and visceral fury. It's completely divorced from the witty, brittle New York intelligentsia she portrayed for Allen. It's sprawling, emotional, totally uncontained acting.
It really proves that the formal training she received allowed her to shift not just genres, but entire acting methods. She could handle the precise language of stop art and Sondheim, the subtle reaction shots needed for Alan, and the messy emotional volatility required by P.T. Anderson. That's incredible versatility.
It really is. And beyond those big auteur projects, she became the definition of the high-caliber character actress, the kind sought after by basically every major studio picture that needed some gravitas.
Yeah, you see her name in the credits and you know you're getting quality.
Exactly. She was the adult Gertrude in Mr. Holland's Opus in 1995, Mrs. Donnelly in the Jennifer Lopez vehicle, The Wedding Planner, in 2001.
Right, I remember her in that.
Miriam Harris in the ensemble comedy Las Vegas in 2013, and Judy in the indie darling The Skeleton Twins in 2014.
She's like the reliable, sophisticated anchor needed to legitimize a project almost. Yeah. But what really elevates her television presence beyond just the acting is her pivot to creative control. This is fascinating.
This is truly where the deep dive lives, I think. She wasn't content just to perform on television. She clearly wanted to master the grammar of the medium itself.
How so?
We see her taking a dual role on the show Love and War, which ran from 1992 to 1995 for 67 episodes. She played the character Nadine Burkus, but the sources explicitly state that she also directed episodes of that show.
Whoa, okay. That is an immense technical challenge. Directing a multi-camera sitcom requires such precision timing, managing lighting, technical cues, maintaining a consistent performance level from the whole cast.
All while you are also expected to step in front of the camera and perform your own scenes.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a completely different skill set than blocking a theatrical stage play.
Totally different. And she repeated the feat. On the Lifetime series Oh Baby, where she played Charlotte St. John from 1998 to 2000, she also directed episodes. This signals not just, personal interest, but recognition from producers that her understanding of performance timing and narrative structure was strong enough to manage the entire creative process behind the camera.
Her stage experience, maybe, where she had to understand the entire physical architecture of a scene to inform her own performance, that must have given her a massive advantage when translating that to the structured sightlines and cuts of the camera.
That makes sense. She understands pacing probably better than someone trained solely for the screen, potentially.
Could be.
Absolutely. And beyond those central roles where she directed, she had other main parts, too. She was Joan Silver on Temporarily Yours in 1997, and she played the agent Connie Randolph opposite Bette Midler on the sitcom Bet from 2000 to 2001.
Right, the Bette Midler Show.
And we should circle back to her Canadian roots again with her more recent work, playing Veronica in the Canadian Black comedy series Sensitive Skin from 2014 to 2016.
Her guest star resume, as you touched upon earlier, it's like a chronological record of prestige television over the last few decades. She became the go-to actress for roles requiring gravitas, authority, and often a touch of intimidating intelligence.
Oh, she certainly owned the legal and political arena on TV. She played Jordan Kendall on 5 episodes of Aaron Sorkin's The West Wing.
High-pressure dialogue there.
Totally. Roles that demand highly specific, rapid-fire delivery. And she has the perfect Judge voice, doesn't she? Playing Judge Romano on both The Good Wife and its spinoff, The Good Fight.
Yes, she was great in those. The legal world and the medical world, the two pillars of network drama forever. She appeared as Iris on 3 episodes of ER, too.
And she even found time for the huge cultural touchstones, popping up as Kim Klotzy on 2 episodes of Friends. Remember that?
Vaguely. Every major show wanted that Gleason touch of class, it seems.
What I love about looking at this section of her career is seeing her bounce between the intensely political stuff, The West Wing, The Newsroom, Blue Bloods, and the purely comedic. She appeared in Tracy Takes On, playing multiple characters like Catherine Hawkins and Leanne the Stewardess.
Tracy Ullman's show,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she truly mastered the art of being the sophisticated, utterly dependable guest star who can just seamlessly enter any complex, dramatic, or comedic ensemble and elevate it.
Okay, so here is where the personal life comes full circle, I think, connecting her professional failures and successes into a single narrative thread. We need to detail the context of her marriages and, crucially, that partnership with Chris Sarandon.
Right. She has, as the sources note, been married 3 times. Her first marriage was to acting coach Paul G. Gleason.
Any relation to Jackie Gleason?
Doesn't seem like it from the sources. She took his professional surname, Gleason, which she kept after their 1982 divorce. Then she married Michael Benahum, divorcing in 1990. But the lasting marriage, since 1994, is to the actor Chris Sarandon. And we have to revisit that wonderful, bizarre theatrical irony.
Nick and Nora.
They met while performing in that spectacularly short-lived 1991 Broadway musical, Nick and Nora.
It's almost poetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
The sources show that professional disaster paved the way for this profound personal connection. The set was likely chaotic due to the previews
Oh,
troubles.
you can imagine.
The mood must have been incredibly tense, yet out of that brief, doomed run came a lifelong partnership. It's wild.
It really is. And what's significant is that they didn't just marry, they continued to collaborate creatively. This confirms that the bond formed back in 1991 was also a deep creative partnership. They returned to the stage together in Thorn and Bloom in 1998.
Okay, so stage work together.
And their collaboration translated to film as well, suggesting they actively sought out projects that allowed them to work together and support each other's careers. They partnered on several films, including Road Ends, Edie and Penn, Let the Devil Wear Black, and American Perfect.
Wow, quite a few. It suggests that the stability in her personal life found its reflection in shared creative ventures, perhaps.
It is very likely.
So if we take a step back now and try to synthesize 5 decades of this intense, varied work from, the radio roots of her father, all the way to Tony acceptance speeches and directorial chairs, what is the summation of this career? What does it all add up to?
Well, the synthesis really reveals an artist defined by true mastery in highly specialized and sometimes seemingly contradictory areas. Her stage dominance is just undeniable. That Tony win, 3 total nominations, multiple Drama Desk wins.
Right.
This was paired with a persistent, strong presence in high-level cinema, moving effortlessly between Woody Allen and P.T. Anderson, as we discussed. And then critically, she became a director on television, taking creative control of the medium.
She really is the quintessential learner, isn't she? Constantly seeking the next form of technical challenge. It's like you need someone who can sing the most complex score of the late 20th century.
Call Joanna Gleason.
You need a nuanced character actress who can convey deep moral ambiguity with just a single glance for a prestige film.
Call Joanna Gleason.
You need a reliable actor who can also step behind the camera to manage the intricate blocking and pacing of a network sitcom.
Call Joanna Gleason. It's remarkable.
It really is.
Her success isn't just about showing up, it's about deep immersion in the rules and demands of each medium. Her ability to thrive in the rigorous world of Sondheim, which requires almost surgical precision, is somehow connected to her success in directing high-volume TV, which also requires surgical precision, just in a different context. She never allowed herself to be restricted by any single medium or typecasting.
It's an incredibly powerful trajectory to look at. And that leads us perfectly to our final provocative thought for you, the listener, to maybe mull over as you process this deep dive.
Okay, let's hear.
Think about the narrative trajectory she carved out for herself. She started as the daughter of Monty Hall, the undisputed king of populist, instantaneous game show fame, a shadow that could easily engulf any child trying to enter the industry.
Absolutely. Huge shadow.
But Joanna Gleason managed to establish a career defined by serious, high-caliber acting, particularly in the complex, demanding worlds of Stephen Sondheim, Tom Stoppard, and challenging independent cinema.
So the question becomes, what does her multifaceted career, defined by these successful pivots and this clear willingness to embrace technical challenges, reveal about the power of versatility versus specialization in the entertainment industry over 5 decades?
Exactly. Did her immediate ability to jump from the devastation of a Broadway flop like Nick and Nora straight into film work and TV directing prove that having multiple distinct competencies is the ultimate defense mechanism against the unpredictable nature of show business? Is that the key?
Her success strongly suggests that true artistic longevity might not lie solely in choosing one lane and mastering it, but perhaps in mastering the technical requirements of every lane you enter, making sure that when one door closes, even if it slams shut after just 9 performances, you already have the key ready to open 3 others. She consistently found her own deep dive, didn't she? In every role and behind every camera.
That sums it up perfectly. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the extraordinary, multifaceted career of Joanna Gleason.
My pleasure. What a career.
We'll catch you next time.